Hi, guys, it's Dr. Nyla Fleming, and I've taken a few moments to put together a quick study tip guide for you guys. I know as you are moving into prepping for your examination and for future board examinations, it's a good idea to have some type of a methodology behind your preparation for board examinations and test taking. The first thing I want to do is acknowledge that you have covered a lot of information. All the information that you have covered so far this semester is fair game for the examination. Gathering the information together can be a very daunting task. So for that reason, I have added supplemental learning to each week. My hope was with the supplemental learning that I would be able to identify any learning gaps or areas that I really think that you guys need to hone in on. Hopefully, this information has been very helpful to you throughout this semester. When it comes to your supplemental learning, I really want you to use that to help focus your study, but I don't want that to be the entirety of your study. Remember, everything that you covered can be on the examination. The practice questions that I have created are extremely important. The purpose of those practice questions is to give you practice for not just our test examinations, but for future board examination. I want you to begin thinking of how to appropriately answer the questions. And again, the test will focus on everything that we've covered, but the answers will come from the book. So sometimes throughout our course discussions, we may use up to date, for instance, as part of our discussion, which is totally appropriate. But sometimes up to date will be more up to date than the textbook and also more up to date than the exam question. So we try to steer away from things that will quickly change, but sometimes that does happen. So if you find yourself in the position of answering a question and you've seen the information on up to date and there's something in the textbook, always use the answer that you find in the textbook versus what you find on up to date or with a Google search. There are study guides that are included with each of your courses. Check the course files. You will find the study guides there. They should be listed as midterm, and then there's one listed as the final examination. Use this as a checkoff to make sure that you have covered the key points to that point in the semester. So you can use it as a checkoff sheet to make sure that you understand the key concepts that we expect you to know. Also develop a method for test taking. My suggestions are that you read each question in its entirety. Next, you eliminate any obvious wrong answers. Next, you look for the best answer because sometimes you will have several good answers, but of those, there will be a best answer. And finally, if you get stuck on a question, pause and move on to the next question. I don't want you to get overwhelmed and focus all of your energy on one question. Sometimes that will heighten your anxiety and it's hard for you to rebound. So let's take a look at a practice examination question that I provided you. This question says, which of the following is not associated with excess weight? Hypertension, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, or growth stunting in children? Now let's analyze that question. Let's read the question again. Which of the following is not associated with excess weight gain? The key word in this question is not. So which of these conditions do you not expect to see with someone who has excess weight? Hypertension. People that have hypertension, we do expect to see them to be overweight. Next one is diabetes. People that are diabetic, we do expect them to have excess weight. Hyperlipidemia. Hyperlipidemia also accompanies excess weight. However, in this very last one, which is the growth stunting in children, we do not expect to see that as a symptom of having excess weight. Another question is AD is a 41-year-old female who wants to discuss weight loss strategies. She's been dieting for the last year but hasn't lost any weight. She's unsure why she's been able to lose weight. You discuss with her that a common obesity is consistently attributed to the following: A, increased energy intake with increased energy expenditure. B, increased energy intake with reduced energy expenditure. C, decreased energy intake with increased energy expenditure. D, decreased energy intake with decreased energy expenditure. Or E, none of the above. Now, this is one of those questions where everything looks pretty similar, so you have to pause and think about what the question is asking you. So this person is attempting to lose weight and she can't understand why. So one of the reasons people are overweight is because they don't burn enough calories. So the only one of these that would explain this is increased energy intake with increased energy expenditure. And finally, I just want to tell you to be very well rested. Take your time. Make sure you're not distracted when it's time for your examination, and I'm definitely here to support you. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys have all of my contact information. Reach out to me at any point. Best of luck.